well, because that is tied into the assisted living building and getting that final approval from the Department of Health Service Regulation. And so once we get that, we'll be able to occupy the new therapy gym, and you can have the group fitness room to yourselves. I know everybody's excited about that, which will free up this room for a lot of other activities and opportunities for community life services as well. Independent living, primarily working on those final punch items and also still assessing the mechanical issues that we've experienced since opening that building. I know some more than others are still experiencing some issues. So just know that we actually have consulted with a third-party architect and engineer on this issue that's assessing the situation. Hopefully in the very near future I might have a better update for you, but I don't as of right now. Assisted living, as I mentioned, we're still waiting on Department of Health Service Regulation, the licensure and certification section again. We submitted all the application, all the documents that they require. They will also inspect and ultimately approve it for occupancy. And we still have a few punch and warranty items in that building we're taking care of as well. And Carla has been working with residents and family members in independent living, developing a list of those that are committed to making that transition into the assisted living building. So that is going well also. So I'll just note right now, if you have any questions about assisted living, what that transition looks like, or if you have any interest, please contact Carla Stapleton, and she can help talk you through that and what that looks like, okay? So I'll pause there for any other questions related to the projects.
What income are we missing out on because we can't get that licensure per month?
Great question. So the question was, what income are we missing out on because of the delayed occupancy of both the assisted living building and the Care and Wellness Center final phase? I mean, 12 beds in the Care and Wellness Center that could be occupied, that's, you know, up to $8,000 an individual bed a month, right? And so same thing, almost close to it for the assisted living, which you're looking at about $7,000 a month in terms of monthly fee that we could be collecting on those, in addition to the independent living apartments those individuals will be transitioning out of that could be resold in entrance fees, all of that. So that's quite a bit to overcome. And that's why, again, we budgeted for the loss, but we never expected delays of this nature to occur. We fully expected to be in assisted living by now. Greg.
Mark, what do you mean by HVAC equipment assessment occupancy?
So some of the apartments within the independent living building west, we have had issues with noise. That's the primary concern that we're looking into. There are other aspects of the design of the equipment that we're looking at too. Again, we wanted to have a third party to take a look at the design and overall function of that building and that equipment.
This is not a Blum problem, the way it was installed. This is
That's why we hired a third party, because if it's a Bloom problem and we're asking Bloom to assess it, you know, would that be a very objective assessment? Probably not. So that's why we're having a third party look at it.
Are the transfers from independent living to assisted living voluntary? Does a family decide, or can you decide that the person needs to?
Great question. The question was, are the transfers from independent living to assisted living voluntary, or do we drag them kicking and screaming? Is that the other? Okay. Essentially, this is something that we've been working on, the team, for the last 9 months to a year, in terms of meeting with residents, meeting with family members, talking about what it means, assisted living, and the type of services that one could receive, and the benefits, right? We obviously have identified some individuals that we think could benefit from moving into a higher level of care, right? And that's why we're cooperatively working with those individuals and family members to identify a commitment list. Who's committed to making that transition? Now, ultimately, there is a section in the contract that says if we feel and your physician feels that you're not appropriately placed in independent living, then we could intervene, but it's not going to be a kicking and screaming type of thing. It's going to be more like like I said, a cooperative venture in terms of sitting down, having a conversation, talking about the benefits of that higher level of care, and working through that process. Does that make sense? Okay.
Mark, with the number of things that have occurred during the project so far, it obviously has had some effect on what the overall cost of the project. We had a budget starting out, and we have probably adjusted it unbelievable. Now, can you give us any idea where we stand against budget and added expenses?
Yeah, great question. The question was, because of all the issues that we've come up with in this project, where do we stand in terms of the budget for the project? And so this was a project that totaled just over $74 million. And there have been a lot of add-ons, you know, in terms of scope. You know, Whitestone and the board of directors added scope to the project. Just to give you a couple examples, the pool was never a part of the project. And so we went to them and we talked about it as a long-range planning committee. We went to the board and said, it would be a shame to not renovate and update the pool when we have this kind of finished product. So they agreed to it. The other thing was the 500 hall in the Care and Wellness Center. There are 8 rooms, right? 8 rooms in the 500 hall. Now, 400 and 600 were being completely renovated, the resident rooms, and we were adding showers to all those rooms. It would have been a shame not to do the same for the 500 hall in those 8 rooms. So we went ahead, we went to the long-range planning committee, said, hey, we need to do this. They agreed, went to the full board, and we added that scope to the project. All of those items such as that are costs that Whitestone has taken on, upwards of $2 million. So operationally, we took on those costs. Now, as far as the project budget, right now, believe it or not, we are still on budget with the project. But to the point earlier, you know, the revenue loss from those delays and those issues, that's another issue. And we are looking to have that issue addressed as well.
Such as things that have been added from a cost standpoint. Some may be Whitestone, some may be Bloom.
Yeah, so yeah, to that point is what we're looking at in terms of damages from the delays. It could be additional costs from errors of the contractor or subcontractors, or errors in design that have caused delays, leading to revenue loss, income loss to Whitestone. Great.
How much do you still owe Bloom?
I don't know how much we currently owe the contractor right off the top of my head, but I know that we've had conversations about, you know, the project retainage, which is funds that you kind of hold back and reserve.
What percentage is retainage?
What's that?
What percentage is retainage?
I don't know the percentage off the top of my head, Craig, but I know that it's still a conversation that we're having with the contractor. We have not paid the contractor in full, so therefore we as an organization do have some leverage there. Okay, moving on. So as I mentioned, something that I don't think we toot our own horn about enough is the great work that we do through both our Fraternal Friendship Program and supporting individuals here at this community. And as I mentioned earlier, over the past 8 years, we've expended, our expenditures have been just north of $1.4 million to support individuals through that program. And again, and that's all possible through donations that we receive through usually, typically, the fraternities. And as you can see there, past 8 years, we've averaged about 1.5 million in donations. And so that's what enables us to help seniors the way that we do. And I wanted to point one other thing too. I mentioned that Whitestone is the one that helps administer the charity, all right? Whitestone does not make the ultimate decision on who gets the charity, okay? We have a board of managers through our Mesh LLC Foundation that helps determine who receives either the financial or other support that we provide through those programs. So ultimately, Jenna, for example, gets an application, somebody reaches out and says, hey, I need some help, or my mom or dad needs some help. Jenna compiles all the information, fills out an application, meets with those individuals, and supplies all of that to the board of managers, who ultimately makes a decision on who receives that support. All right? So let's talk about the fraternal friendship and what kind of support that I'm referring to. Now, through that program, we can provide financial assistance, case management. We also can help with healthcare referrals. We support widows. Again, think of fraternal friendship as any support services we provide outside of the campus walls, okay, through our outreach. And so, and through financial support, it could be either short-term or long-term. And I'll give you some examples here, like that probably the call that we receive the most is something like this. I had a health episode. I was in the hospital for several weeks. I have a lot of healthcare bills. My medication costs increased, and I can't pay my mortgage for a couple of months. Can you help me do that until I get back on my feet? And so a lot of times, the board of managers, we go through that admission process, and we can support that individual for a couple months so that they're not displaced and they don't lose their housing. Similar situation, actually, I just got a text from Jenna this afternoon. She got a call, a referral. This individual, again, health episode, and it's taken up a lot of their income. And this individual is filling out an application for long-term support. So they need some monthly financial assistance every month moving forward. But they also couldn't even buy groceries this month. So Jenna had the idea to, hey, I'm going to send this person a $200 gift card from Walmart. Let them get their groceries, and then complete the application process, get it done in a timely notice, and start supporting the individual ongoing. So those are just some of the scenarios that we help with. Another one was an individual that was disabled, but he continued to work. Eventually, though, he got to the point where he could no longer perform in his job because he worked construction. And so he applied for disability, and he was denied. So while we reapplied and helped him through that reapplication process, we helped him out with his monthly expenses. And then once he finally got the approval for disability, he no longer needed our help. So those are just some of the examples of how we can financially support individuals through this program. And I talked about long-term assistance. So, you know, people are living longer, they're outliving their assets, and so it's happening more and more. So you get individuals that can no longer pay their mortgage, that can no longer pay all of their monthly expenses. So we can provide that month-to-month assistance. So again, they can continue to receive the medication they need, the groceries they need to survive, and help them to pay their utilities and or mortgage and so on, so that they're not displaced from their home. Again, this could be an individual over on the beach or in the mountains. It doesn't matter. Anywhere in North Carolina, we can support individuals in that way.
Mark, are you talking about supporting Masons and their immediate families or just anybody?
So the Fraternal Friendship Program is available to either members of the fraternity, Masonic or Eastern Star, or close affiliation, like I mentioned earlier. Their father was a Mason, or their husband is a Mason. Some local affiliation like that.
Yeah, I just didn't want a scam going on.
I appreciate you asking that so I can clarify. Fraternal Friendship is designated for members or closely affiliated individuals.
How do you pay, provide support for those who are not Masons?
So the question was, how do we provide support those that are not affiliated with a fraternity like that? So through the Fraternal Friendship Program, we don't. That program, our outreach program, is solely for individuals that have membership or affiliate. Internally, it could really apply to both, because as I mentioned, through our 111 years, we have been able to support individuals that have run out of assets previously, so they did not have to leave campus. Okay, right now today, everybody that we're supporting on campus has an affiliation to a fraternity, but it has not always been that way. Okay, does that make sense? Case management, what does that mean? So if I have somebody that's living over in Asheville that's reaching out that says, hey, I just need some help. You know, I can no longer do everything by myself. You know, it'd be nice to have maybe Meals on Wheels delivered, you know, to my home, or to be able to get transportation services. So Jenna can help identify those services in their area, apply for those services, and help them get those services moving forward. So she's just there to help coordinate any services they may need wherever they call home. It includes filling out applications for VA benefits. Or, has anybody ever filled out a Medicaid application? Wasn't easy, was it? And it's never easy. So we have a little bit of expertise in that, so we can help individuals to do that. We can help with getting and securing medical equipment for individuals, and that's something that Jenna does on a regular basis. So typically, how the process works, we get a phone call, or somebody reaches out to myself, Jenna, or somebody here at Whitestone. Jenna reaches back out, talks to the individuals, maybe it's the family members, starts an application process. Usually the application process is done over the phone, and then there's an in-person visit. And our application process is very thorough, because we want to make sure those contributions, those resources that we have to provide that care are taken care of, and only individuals that really need it receive it. You know, I think you might have seen in a couple slides previous, we do kind of a financial check-in every 6 and 12 months with individuals. Who knows, maybe they inherited some money and they no longer need the help, right? So we want to make sure those resources we have available go to help the right people. So application process is completed, it goes to the board of managers that again ultimately makes the decision on who receives the support and services, and then we go from there and hopefully tell that individual, yes, we can help you out. It's probably the best part of my job is when we get one of those calls, somebody that really needs help, that we can call them back and say, hey, yep, we can help you out. So help spread the word about the program. For those of you who are members of the Masonic or Eastern Star, please, you know, if you know of somebody that needs help, please let us know. And, you know, donate to our Mesh LLC fund. That goes directly to support individuals, both here and on campus and off campus as well. George?
Is the assistance geographically to a particular part of the state, or is it just spread out everywhere?
So generally, the assistance that we've provided through that program, as I mentioned, it's from across the state.
Okay.
There's no, you know, one area more than another that receives assistance to that program.
All right, so the word is getting out across the whole state.
It is somewhat.
Okay.
We know there's more people out there that need help, though. And again, if you would like some more information about the program, please contact Jenna Grant. She can answer any questions you may have. And if you'd like to maybe support Jenna in her efforts, I'm sure that she would be willing to find some useful tasks that you may be able to help her with too. So, a couple other hot topics around campus. The exterior wayfinding signs, the package has not yet been installed. So, for example, if you're coming from Independent Living West or the Hiram and you're going out towards the main entrance, there's no stop sign there yet. You probably have noticed that. First of all, we want you to stop. But second of all, there's a sign designated. It's in part of the sign package that is going to be delivered to us and installed. But there are several of those wayfinding directional signs that still have not yet been installed. Secondly, another hot topic for the last several months have been the properties adjacent to our campus. So our foundation owns several properties along Spring Garden, Gay Terrace, Copeman Street for future development of our community. And we currently are leasing those out to a few different businesses. And some of those businesses have kind of taken advantage of us in terms of the looks and cleanliness of those properties. I can share with you that we've recently had our property manager visit those properties. And I've come to find out the city of Greensboro has also visited those properties. And those properties have received, one in particular, the tire store, has received an order to clean up the property from the city and our property manager.
He breeds
So-
mosquitoes like you would not believe.
So help is on the way. They're going to be cleaning up, but they are jeopardizing their lease, and we are already starting to talk about what happens next. And then the church property in the corner of Gay Terrace and Spring Garden, there have been some abandoned vehicles they have in that property. They're removing those as well. So we're cleaning up those properties to eliminate the breeding ground of mosquitoes and some of George's friends, hopefully, who might be housed over there.
They've already found them all.
But those are all being cleaned up. But as I mentioned, there's approximately 8 to 10 acres of property that is going to be developed in the future for future growth of this community, but it's currently being leased out. Okay. Last but not least, I know that prior to leaving, Rick and Archna were working on the Easy Pass system for our village residents. I'm going to work with Archna to make sure that that gets distributed, hopefully within the next week. What I'm referring to is we used to have a gate clicker that opened the bottom gate, and we've changed that system to what's called an Easy Pass system. So where we install a little decal in your windshield, all you got to do is pull up to it and it'll open that gate. Okay? So again, we're going to designate a time where you can bring a vehicle, we're going to apply that Easy Pass, and you can be on your way. George?
Will that also, the Easy Pass, work the main gate?
As of right now, it will not. But that's something that we've talked about, upgrading both gates to that new system.
Okay, and the other question is on the other side of Hiram Drive, is there going to be gate access there?
The question is related to Hiram. If you come in the main gate, you can actually drive Hiram all the way to Copeman Street, where there's another gate. That is typically designated for our employee entrance. You can leave that way, but I hesitate to provide too much access because it kind of opens the gate to others to our community. I prefer having a guard at the entrance where a lot of people are coming and going. So that's something we can talk about for future, but as of right now, it's designated for entry by employees only.
Okay, but my understanding is that that particular gate is not, are the guards at that gate? Because I was told they
No.
weren't.
Guards are not physically at that gate, but there's a camera that is at that gate.
Okay.
So the guards in the Welcome Center can view that back gate at all times.
Okay.
Anybody could come in.
It's not automatic. It's got a keypad that, go
It
ahead.
opens for me with my little go-kart,
The Copeman Street,
if that's Copeland Street, that back gate,
you drive your cart back there?
my golf cart. And it opened,
So when you exit, it's automatic.
exit, yes.
Yeah, when you exit, it's automatic,
Anybody could come in.
not when you come in. Right. You can exit that way, but residents cannot come in that way. In the back.
Providing stickers on your car instead of the hangers. Hangers are painted in.
So I think you're referring to the hangars to identify whose vehicle it is. We can look into another option, but that's the option that we have available to us right now. And that's a good reminder because I've noticed that we do have some cars, resident cars, parking by assisted living that don't have those identification hangers. If you drive a vehicle, and I know that sales and marketing did not pass some of them out. So if you drive a vehicle, we want to know whose vehicle it is. So there's a hanger that you can get from our sales and marketing team to hang from your rear view mirror that identifies you're a Whitestone resident and whose vehicle it is, just in case we need to ask you to move it. To give you an example, they were doing some concrete work over there by the assisted living building that I was afraid that some cars were going to get damaged. And I was able to identify everybody, but it took some work because not everybody had their cars identified. So please, if you don't have one, please go down and get one from the sales and marketing team.
They
Is there any
want
reason-
all hanged, though.
Just in the back real quick.
It would be simpler to just have a tag, where you have your number or your apartment number on it or whatever, instead of having the hanger. The hanger, you take, you're asked to take it off. And that, the reminder to put it back on, you would have the people here probably.
I'm never taking it off.
And it's supposed to be off according to what it says on the hanger.
No.
Well, unfortunately, that's what we have to work with right now. We can look at other options in the future, but right now I ask if you do drive a vehicle on campus, please make sure you have it identified.
Would it-
You had a question real quick?
Mine won't hang in my car, the way it's shaped.
The mirror will help you with that. Is there something wrong with the mirror or?
No,
Okay, let me talk to you after this, or security or maintenance can assist as well. Yes, sir.
Is there any problem if you just take the hanging thing on the top of your windshield sideways?
As long as it's identified in your windshield, I don't care what you do with it.
Yeah.
You can actually, put it down in your dashboard if you want to. That's fine too. Ideally, we're gonna look first place for hanging from the mirror, but if it's visible in the windshield, that's okay too.
Okay.
I'll work with you on that.
I've been to one building and grounds meeting, and somebody at that meeting recommended that the curbs around the campus be power washed and I never noticed it, but on my way home, I looked at the curbs and they're very much right. A lot of them are just plain black. Anything going with that, or?
So the question is related, when are the curbs and the gutters gonna be power washed? I assure you it's on our list, but right now, we have some other priorities that we're working through. And as soon as we get the opportunity, we will start cleaning those curbs and gutters. Yes, ma'am.
Mark, you forgot to mention under hot topics, the continued use of Roundup or the discontinued use of Roundup on our properties.
Yes, the use of Roundup on the property is an item that our Buildings and Grounds Committee is addressing. So until we get a recommendation from our contractor, I have no new information to provide, other than we're looking at other options other than the use of Roundup. Any other questions?
Just a suggestion. We have, what, 37 people awaiting villas.
Correct.
How many empty apartments do we have that aren't sold?
20.
Only one. Okay, well.
20.
20.
No, 20.
20.
Why not do like they did when people were waiting for their apartment to be completed, where we had available villas to allow people to move into those until their apartment? Why not turn that around? Open up an apartment to these people waiting
Yeah.
for a villa, and when a villa opens up, they move out of the apartment and into the villa.
Yeah. And I appreciate that, and absolutely the sales and marketing team do make that offer. Typically though, if you have somebody that's wanting to move into a villa, which is a larger space than most of the apartments, you know, they have stuff to be able to, want to be able to bring with them, and they don't typically want to downsize, even though it might be for a short period of time. But it is an offer that we absolutely extend, because what that does is it brings them to the top of the wait list.
Yes.
But unfortunately, as of right now, we have not had anybody interested in doing that.
Okay.
But I will share that our team is working on another incentive, and that is an incentive for our current villa residents to move into, transition into an independent living apartment. So there's going to be an event that occurs on the 25th where villa residents can actually come and talk to our team about what that incentive looks like. It's only a short time offer, and it's a pretty good offer, if I may say so myself. But you know, I know that there are residents out there that could benefit from moving to a building here closer to the amenities, closer to the dining room, to provide some additional socialization. So we're starting those conversations as well. But typically, what that would look like is a pretty significant payment as far as an entrance fee to move into one of these new apartments. But we have a short time offer that we're offering those residents that Marie and the team are going to introduce on the 25th. Dorsey.
Yeah, Mark, we have in the past had either a house or an apartment available for a guest that we wanted to accommodate when we didn't have room enough in our apartment. Do we still have that program available?
The question is, do we have a guest unit available right now? And we currently do not, but it's something that I'm working with the sales team to figure out which is the best unit to upfit with furniture and everything for guests. So it's coming, but it's just not ready yet. We had to buy new furniture. Well, thank you all. One more question.
It's really a reminder for pet owners to clean up after their pets.
Okay, thank you.
I almost stepped in some today.
Okay, thank you. Just as a reminder, I have a couple things too, and Larkin's reminding me too. Reminder to all pet owners, please make sure you're cleaning up after your pets or on campus, okay? And reminder, make sure you're wearing your, how many of you are wearing your Sarah alert?
I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I see a few that are not. Just as a reminder, you never know when you're gonna find yourselves in a situation where you need help. It could be as you're getting out of the shower. It could be, that's probably I think that's the area that has been identified as the most dangerous area where you're gonna have an incident. You know, getting out of the shower. You can't wear these in the shower. So make sure you have that, because you never know.
Mark, there was an announcement just came out a couple of days ago about testing Sarah alerts again. We were tested about 3 months ago. How often do you have to be retested?
Great question, thank you. Sarah alerts, your Sarah pendants are tested quarterly. Okay, so that's why we're gonna ask you each quarter to come up to the rotunda, test your pendant for us. We wanna make sure it's working. When you need it, we want it to be able to be working.
Suppose that we're 100% full and we can't get any more people in here, where are you gonna feed them?
So the question is, suppose we're 100% full, where are you gonna feed them? So John and his team are working on an operational solution to that. Obviously, our dining room is much tighter these days. We know that. So he's gonna be developing an option for all of our dining. It could include maybe some added bistro hours. Maybe it's expanding hours for the dining room in general, and maybe all of it combined. But we're looking at some other operational things that we can do to help better accommodate in the dining room. So Larkin, would you mind kind of sharing with the group what's going on, something coming up?
Sure. Can I see the paper I gave you? All right. So, during activity committee, they suggested that I ask Mark for a little soapbox moment for an event that I'm having at the end of the month.
You need to stand up on soapbox.
Not good? Okay. So, at the end of the month on October 28th, that is a Saturday, we are having an all-day intergenerational event. The Jefferson Elementary students are coming for their 3rd game day, and we're kind of opening up the demographic that we can have, because in the morning, some people that have more like mobility aids need it. We're struggling to kind of participate. We're countering that by having a trick-or-treating event where you could sit at a table in the clubhouse and just see the kids in their little costumes and hand out candy. So you are more than welcome to come to the game day only or the trick-or-treating only. This flyer will be distributed with some bonus information again later this week. But I ask that you come and join us because they're going to be really cute and they're really excited about it. I think we're planning to have between 50 and 60 children. So if you want to sign up, we're going to definitely need you all to be there. You can come to the front desk. They have a sign-up sheet there. Or you can email me or call me. Both my numbers are on Touchtown. So, is that it? Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey Carla, real quick, I know I saw some emails come across. We're also scheduling
Yes.
an RSV and flu clinic.
Yes.
So real quick, you want to update?
Yes, and there have been some updates while this meeting
Go ahead.
has been happening. So what we're gonna do is have our flu clinic scheduled for the 23rd, which is Monday, from 2 to 5. And then we're gonna have another flu clinic on Monday, October 30th, from 2 to 5. So we're gonna have 2 opportunities for the flu clinic, and there will be flyers in your in-house mailboxes. The 23rd is going to be in the Arts and Crafts room, 2 to 5. The 30th will be here in the Fellowship Hall from 2 to 5. I think that Callie has decided she's going to do the RSV clinic maybe the first week of November is what she's thinking.
Okay.
Because the RSV clinic is going to be for residents who actually sign up with Callie and bring Callie a script for that shot. The RSV shot is different. You have to have a prescription for it from your primary care doctor, and the cost for the RSV shot is about $300 per shot. So they are going to be filing it with insurance, but insurance won't cover it unless you have script. So it's sort of a unique situation with this RSV clinic, and Callie is keeping a list right now of residents who want to have that shot. She's keeping their scripts, and it sounds like she's going to do that the first week in November and let our flu shot clinic sort of stand alone. So the 23rd and the 30th, 2 to 5. She's the pharmacist. She's the pharmacist, okay? So flu shot, Monday the 23rd in the Arts and Crafts room, or Monday the 30th here in the Fellowship Hall from 2 to 5.
This is for the flu, the shots that you did not get 2 weeks ago?
Right,
Okay.
right. Go ahead.
Have they determined how often we will need the RSV shot?
I do not have an answer to that question. Callie could answer that question for you. So I would encourage you to give her a call in the pharmacy or stop by. How frequently would that RSV vaccine be needed?
So what I heard was, if you're interested in the RSV vaccine, please go to the pharmacy here on campus and
Right.
talk to Callie and get on that list. Okay? And then the 23rd and the 30th are going to be flu shot clinics, which, again, information will be in your mailboxes soon about that.
Yeah, and for you guys who can't get by the pharmacy when it's open, Callie's number at the pharmacy is 336-547-2988. So you can call and leave Callie a message, let her know you're interested in the RSV shot, and she'll call you back when she gets in the clinic, when she gets in the pharmacy, okay? Because they have limited hours.
Will we need to fill out another form, even though we filled one out for the COVID shot?
Yes, there will be a flu consent form that you have to complete, and I will have those at the flu clinic because they're not going to be something we're going to try to coordinate ahead of time. I'll have those flu shot consent forms for you to sign, and I'm sure that Callie's going to have the RSV consent forms.
Thank you.
Is the RSV recommended for everybody?
Especially if you're old.
So really, I think the recommendation is talk to your primary care physician about the RSV, because each person is different.
Right.
We can't give a recommendation one way or the other. Talk to your physician.
Yeah, hence the reason a script is necessary. There has to probably be some medical history that warrants you getting that shot. I think that would probably.
Thank you, Carla.
Sure, thanks.
And thank you all for being here. I'll be around for a few minutes if you have other questions, so thank you.